Good afternoon. My name is Logan Wilson, and for my school support interview, I decided to interview Christian O'Neill. He's the head custodian for the Carthage Junior High, the same building that I work at. And this was also cool for me because not only do I get to learn about his position, but Christian is a personal friend of mine. Our families do barbecues together, we go fishing together, and we just hang out together. So it was cool to see that side of things. I asked him about 10 questions. The first one is briefly describe your daily responsibilities. He said he manages a crew of 7 people, night and day shift custodians at the junior high. His main responsibility is to monitor the air system, manage cleaning and upkeep of building, manage the setup and cleanup of athletic events. As a coach, I am very appreciative of that. Clean as needed, answer and address any questions or issues from the administration and the teachers. So the next one is, why are you in your job? Why did you decide to be a custodian? His first answer is it's a good gig, and he loves what he does. You can tell that when you interact with him, when you see him do his job, he really does enjoy it. I get the opportunity to make great lasting friendships with teachers and other staff. I get to create relationships with students. I get to do a task and step back and see that is done right. Most importantly, I love the responsibility of being in charge of the well-being of the school building. And this is something that he does take extreme pride in, is making sure the building looks amazing and making sure the little details are taken care of. The next question is, what gives you satisfaction in your job? To know that the teachers and administration of my building know that if they ask me for something, I will do everything I can to make that happen. Again, not exaggerate. He does his job to amazing. He's very, very good at that. What is the source of frustration or something you dislike about your job? He said the unknown of what is happening, so I can't make plans for my crew and for our routine. He said it happens in every school and it's the nature of the beast, but that doesn't mean it's any easier. A good example is, what are we going to do with COVID-19 for the starting school year? Or, for example, they wait to the last week before they start summer school. He says no one's fault. It's just a frustrating thing because he's trying to put in situations or systems to make sure everything works. I asked him, can you describe the evaluation process and who is involved with that? He said that his 2 immediate bosses, the maintenance director, Dan Hill, and the building principal, Jenny Bogle, they give him an annual evaluation, usually at the end of the year, fiscal year, and the maintenance director writes it up. The principal meets with the maintenance director, and then they discuss it with Christian once they agree upon it. So he's a leader in the school himself. Like I said, he controls about 7 people. And I asked him, what are some non-negotiables when you evaluate your staff? And he said there was 3 of them. And he said, good attitude. They don't necessarily have to be a people person or have great friendships, but he says they can't be negative because negative attitudes spread like cancer. The next one is attendance. It doesn't matter how good you are at your job. If you're not there, it doesn't matter. And the last one is accepting responsibility. He said he's willing to train anyone. He can show you how to do it, but you have to take acceptance. Either ask how to do it, or if you make a mistake, own up to it, and they can fix it together. So good attitude, attendance, and accepting responsibility. Next, what are some professional development required or offered to the school? We've actually talked about this before the interview, and the last couple of years he's gone to, I believe it's St. Louis, for the Missouri School Plant Managers Association. And basically there they talk about everything from top to bottom of a school. When we actually talked about what type of track service you should put down and what is best for your school depending on where you live. And it was actually really cool to listen to all the different things that he does. What advice would you have for someone thinking of becoming a principal, such as myself? He said, be fair and make sure to make your expectations for your support staff very clear from the beginning. It leaves the person no room to say, I wasn't sure what you wanted. Too often that is what happens when people take a position like mine without wanting to do the actual work. So like I mentioned in the beginning, I work with Christian on a daily basis, so I get to see him in action. However, this interview really opened the door on his thoughts and processes for the job. I've already told Christian that if I'm lucky enough to be in administration someday, he is going to be the first person that I hire. I want to thank Christian for his time, and thank you for listening. Have a great night.